What a mind shift is you realizing that you actually have the capability within you to fix this problem, despite everything you've tried. You could have been on this journey for months, years, if not decades, which there are people within our programs who have been like that. And then they come to the coaching calls, and then they have the roadmap call, and then they apply this and that, and they're making some progress, but then one day we get a message from them. Boom. I just did a 2-mile walk. How's it going, Thrivers? Miguel here from CFS Recovery. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what does a mind shift look like or feel like when you have CFS. You hear me talking about in all of my videos this mind shift, right? This person had a mind shift that made tons of progress. You do all this brain new training, then you have a mind shift. The mind shift is what leads to the recovery. And I also say in every one of my YouTube videos, you are just one mind shift away from living a life with thriving health. So this whole mind shift that I'm talking about, what does that mean and what does that look like? Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Miguel. I dealt with mysterious, debilitating symptoms for about 4.5 years at my worst. I went from a personal trainer, very fit, very athletic, very kind of outgoing, had a lot going on in my life, but at the young age of 19, I got very sick. Doctors couldn't figure out what was going on. I got worse and worse to the point where I was living with my grandparents for 6 months. They had to spoon feed me. And then, I couldn't take a shower for weeks at a time. We had to black out the room, had to wear shades all the time and earplugs because I was just so sensitive to stimulus. There was a time when I couldn't even turn over in bed for about a week, and it was really rough. And I was also hospitalized for about 2 months after that. And that's where I met my doctor after being in the emergency room and ICU. And I'm trying all these different things and going through the gauntlet of the medical system and trying different supplements, medications, treatments that didn't work and actually only made me worse. Finally, I met a doctor who was able to show me how to recalibrate my nervous system. Now, you could call all of this chronic fatigue syndrome, CFS, dysautonomia, long COVID, even fibromyalgia. All of these things go under the bucket of a hypersensitive nervous system. And if you haven't watched the video yet where I talk about that, click the link up here where I show you why it's so hard for doctors to offer you a solution for this. So that video is going to be up here. Now, what my doctor taught me was the science behind recovery. I actually shared it in the Recovery Science Blueprint. I'm going to leave the link down below so you can also take a look at that, where I break down very simply what is going on, what you need to do about it, and what it actually looks like to move forward and recover. So I'm going to leave the link down below. Now, this video, what is the mind shift? Now, for the longest time, I was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I wasn't really getting better. On a long enough time frame, if you zoom out and look every 6 months, what I was doing in my life, I was getting worse. Now, there were times when I was getting a little bit better for a few weeks or a couple months, but overall, I would just get worse and worse and worse. And here's the thing, I didn't know why I was getting better. I didn't know why I was getting worse. All I knew was that something was very wrong in my body, but things just did not make sense to me. Now, it wasn't until I figured out exactly what was happening where the light bulb moment came on, right? That's when I had the mind shift. That's when I realized that I actually had the tool that I needed this entire time to solve this once and for all. Now, I said in the beginning of the video that I tried so many different things. And if I were to list them out, it would probably fill up this whole screen, but just to give you an idea of things that I've tried treating this as adrenal fatigue because my cortisol was low. I did see different doctors and naturopaths. They couldn't figure out what was causing these. I went to the emergency room multiple times and they said, Miguel, your electrolytes are low. You just need to drink more electrolytes. You need to eat more bananas. And clearly, me being an athlete in the past, I know this is more than just electrolytes. I've been dehydrated before. So there was that. They said it was dehydration, electrolytes. They said it was adrenal fatigue, so they got me on adaptogens, vitamin B12s, adrenal extract. I was even given hydrocortisone, which made me 10 times worse. That was pretty brutal. I did over 100 bags of IVs over about a 2-year period, right? And that did help me temporarily, but did not solve the root cause of this. I took thyroid medication, I was taking magnesium, I was taking multivitamins, I was taking ashwagandha. I did a few detoxes as well because we thought there was mold in my body, so I went through that protocol. I tried acupuncture, massage therapy, I tried hitting up saunas, steam rooms, tried Reiki. I've done a Holter monitor, blood test, urine test, stool test, MRI, x-rays, ultrasounds. So many I can't even remember. But with all of these tests, I was looking for something outside of me to solve this problem, because that's what you typically do, right? When you go through life, when you get sick, you have this health issue, then you go to the doctors. Maybe you have a cough and it's not going away. You go to the doctors. You break your leg, you break your foot, you sprain something, you go to the doctors, and then you go to a specialized person from there. You might get referred out to a physiotherapist. You might get referred out to a nutritionist if you're having food allergies. So normally, when you have these health issues, you completely turn to the health system, assuming that they're gonna help you, right? And for most of the things that do go wrong, they do help you. But when it comes to CFS, that's what makes it so frustrating, is because all your tests are coming back normal and everybody's telling you you're fine. You're completely fine. Or it's all in your head. We need to set you up with a psychiatrist or anxiety specialist, chalking it up to depression or anxiety. Now, you do feel those things, but you know that's not the root cause. So when you're being dismissed by people who you're putting your life in their hands, you're entrusting your health and well-being into these people, and they're telling you you're okay. They're not even acknowledging your symptoms. It's very difficult, and it puts you in this downward spiral. So not only does it make you more frustrated, but it makes you more desperate to look for this solution. So it goes from you reaching out for help to you now taking matters into your own hands. You realize, okay, if there's somebody that's gonna help me, I'm gonna have to find that source. So now you take a little bit more of a, I don't want to say ownership, but you take more initiative on your health versus trying to outsource it to other people, like specialists and all that. So now you go into the phase of Googling, researching, reading books on health, looking up YouTube videos, looking up blogs, looking up people who have had this in the past. And on that research journey, on your search for the truth and for the answer, you can run into some pretty dark things, right? It is Mariana's Trench out there. You can stumble across a forum and there's people there who've been sick for 40 or 30 years and they've been housebound the whole time, and you might be hearing people say, oh, I haven't gotten better, just learn to cope with this for the rest of your life. So it takes you to a really dark place, and there hasn't been a single person, even people who have recovered. I'm recovered, our coaches are recovered. There are dozens of people in our program who have their life back and they're functional. They have all gone through that phase, which is, I call it like the second phase in terms of searching for solutions. Now you're searching online for solutions. Luckily, if you're watching this video right now, you have found my YouTube channel. So I'm just gonna say you kind of hit the jackpot here, because I put out all the information that I know of that is helping a lot of people get better. And we use all this in our programs. I actually give it away all for free on YouTube. So you have the right information. You have more than enough information that you need in order to recover. So that's the second phase. And you try these different things. You look at what's working, what's not working. You listen to recovery stories, and then you start applying it. Now, you may not get it right off the bat. Maybe you're somebody who is kind of sitting on the sidelines observing. You're trying to gather data. You're in the data gathering phase. And this can go on for days or weeks or months, if not years. And then you'll find something that looks promising, then you'll try it for yourself. And you'll go, no, that doesn't really work. I've tried it for a week. I'm not seeing any significant changes. Let me stop doing this. And then you try something else. You do it for a little bit. You get a bit discouraged that it's not working as quick as you want it to work, and then you move on to something else. And then so you go hopping from solution to solution, maybe even hopping from program to program, expecting that this thing is gonna give you some magical thing that is gonna fix you like that, or something that is gonna make it 100 times easier to recover. And after being on that journey for so many months or years, we see this. I've seen this all the time. My coaches have seen this. We discuss this every single week. It gets to the point where you realize that the thing that you need to fix and the thing that is going to fix that is in here the whole time. That it is your nervous system that needs to be fixed. And the only thing that can fix this specific nervous system issue is your brain. The way you think, the way you respond to your symptoms, the way you handle the flare-ups, the way you speak to yourself, the emotions you feel. When you learn to control these things and calibrate your brain to not always be in a fight or flight mode, and you start seeing results, that's when the light bulb goes off. If I could break this down very simply, it's if you're locked out of the house and it's winter time and it's so cold and you only have one key to get into this house and there's only one door. There's no windows, no one else lives in this house. It's just been you living there the whole time and you're locked out. And you have some pants on, you have a jacket, you have a bag, you just parked your car and you are frantically searching everywhere for that key. You check your pockets, you check your jacket, every single pocket you're checking your car, under your seat, in the trunk. You drive back to where you came from. Did I drop it on the ground? Did I drop it on the ground when I got out of the car? You take out a flashlight and retrace your steps. It's starting to get late now. You really need to get into this dang house. The clock is ticking. You need to get in this because you are losing out on valuable time. So you take out a flashlight, you retrace your steps, you're looking everywhere for it. You go, I don't know. I don't have the key. I need the solution. So either I need to break this door down or I need to go find out where they made this key and have another one made. So there's nowhere to go. It's midnight. You're still trying to get into this house. The key is nowhere to be found. You check your pants again, you check your jacket, your backpack. You do the whole thing over and over again. You do this a few times until you start to feel like you're going crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then that's when you realize it's probably on me somewhere. And you're checking everywhere. You're doing your one last sweep. Your one last try to find this key. You open your jacket pocket and forget that there's actually a hidden pocket over there. You unzip it. You look into it. You reach your hand in. And what do you know? The key has been with you the entire time. And so when you have that realization, when that moment hits, where you pull that key out of your pocket and you realize that the solution was within you the whole time. Even though you were looking over here, over there, you drove back to the previous spot, you did all this extra work when the answer, the solution was right there. Then you open the door, it works, it's your key, you go inside, you take a hot shower, then you go to bed. So that example I just shared, it's kind of like a mind shift. Because what a mind shift is, you realizing that you actually have the capability within you to fix this problem, despite everything you've tried. You could have been on this journey for months, years, if not decades, which there are people within our programs who have been like that. And then they come to the coaching calls and then they have the roadmap call and then they apply this and that. And they're making some progress, but then one day we get a message from them, boom. Or they show up to a call, boom. Wow, I just did a 2-mile walk. I just did a 1-mile walk. I just drove for the first time in 10 years. I just had dinner with my family that I haven't been able to do for the last 3 years. Something switched. Now it makes sense. I get it. The solution is actually within me the whole time. It was so simple. It was so simple. It's not easy. I never said any of this was easy, but I'm saying it's simple. So when you realize that you have had the answer, the solution within you this whole time for this thing that has been standing in the way of you and life, and the answer was so simple, it was within you, that's when you go, aha, okay, I get it. Let me keep doing this simple thing and I'm just going to continue getting better. So it's one, understanding and realizing that you have the solution within, but on another hand, it's now I know why I'm getting better. Now I have a predictable plan that I can follow in order to recover. And that just injects hope into your mind. It injects hope into your future because now you realize it's actually possible. It's actually going to happen. It no longer becomes a game of wishing and hoping and praying and waiting. It becomes a process of, okay, this is exactly what I need to implement, and I'm going to implement this. If I implement this, I will get better. Just like science, you do A, you get B. You do X, you get Y. It's cause and effect. If I do this specific thing and I know this is what I need to do, I will make this progress. And it's a cycle. Then you get on the upward spiral. But the mind shift, the reason I talk about it that you only need one mind shift and you're one mind shift away to live a life of thriving health is because that one mind shift is the spark that sets off a chain reaction of progress that you would have never seen coming. And you're not going to realize it until you have your first mind shift. But once you have that, it changes everything. So that's why I harp so much on being consistent, watch these videos, listen to recovery stories, but not only that, implement what you're learning. Because without implementation, you're not going to be firing off those neurons in your brain that are needed for the mind shift. And I could go even deeper into this of what exactly is happening in your brain on a scientific level. And I do go into it a little bit, which you can find in this video up here, where I talk about brain retraining explained. Definitely watch that video if you haven't already. But that's essentially what a mind shift is on a scientific level, right? Because there's actually physical change happening in your brain when you have the mind shift. It's not just some airy-fairy stuff. So that's all I wanted to share in this video. Your mind shift is coming. If you're watching these videos and you're applying these things, your mind shift is on its way. It's only a matter of time before you have your first one. But let me tell you, once you have that first mind shift, that is the domino, the first domino that falls, that has a domino effect on your progress, on your recovery. That is the start of the upward spiral that puts into motion the upward spiral. But you need to experience that. My mind shift, my first one, was when I was in the hospital and I realized that I had the solution within me the whole time, where it made sense. My doctor said, hey, there's actually nothing wrong with your organs. You're not just gonna stop breathing. Your heart's not gonna explode. Your nervous system is just hypersensitive. That's all. We just need to down-regulate it, calm it down with brain retraining and lower certain parts of your brain activity, and then you'll be fine. It's a simple fix. And then once it worked for the first 2 days and I realized my symptoms felt better using his approach, that's all I needed to know, that this is what I need to do to recover. And I never looked back from there. I didn't doubt it from there. And I had some doubt creep in here and there, but I swatted it away because I found something that finally worked. So that was my mind shift. So I hope you got a lot out of this video. This is probably one of the videos I wish I had done a lot sooner, explaining the mind shift. But if you got some value out of this, definitely comment down below. What was your biggest takeaway? Have you had your first mind shift yet? And if you have, what was that mind shift? What was the big game-changing aha moment? Comment down below because I would love to see it, and it's great to share with other people to give them some inspiration and hope. And that's the cool thing, is as you get better and recovery and take a few steps ahead and move forward on your journey, you're going to be able to look back and pull others forward as well. It's like a never-ending kind of loop of you moving forward, getting guidance from people ahead of you, and now you're able to help people behind you. And those people, in a few months, in a few weeks, they're going to be where you're at, and they're going to help people behind them. So it's all about helping people. Definitely spread the good word about the mind shifts and what you've done to recover. But if you did need some extra help, we do have our Recovery Academy program. You can check the link down below. It's a month-to-month program. There's no commitment to it. A lot of people have been getting amazing results from it. People like Maria, people like Roland, people like Jessica, people who were very debilitated, housebound, now they're really starting to get their lives back, and some of them even recovered. So always remember, like I said throughout this video, you are a thriver and you are just one mind shift away from living life with thriving health. I'll see you in the next video.